Hello dear mind, and welcome to Reyosumi channel. Thank you for being here. We want to remind you that our only mission is to share information that can help you achieve the success you desire and to help raise the level of consciousness of as many people as we can reach. In this video, I am going to tell you about the 4 keys that you didn't know about your mother and that are crucial to your happiness and success in life. So, let's begin reprogramming. These 4 keys are: 1. Your success is your mother. 2. Your body is your mother. 3. The money is your mother. 4. Your partner, you find in your mother. Be sure to watch till the end of this video, where I will give you 4 practical exercises that will help you do the changes in perception you need to completely change your life and get the results you want. So don't forget to thank me in the comments if you find this information valuable, and please share it with someone you think might need it. What you are going to listen to is part of the teachings of different methodologies and orientations. We all need to acknowledge the importance of our mother. I will share with you information that will allow you to understand the importance of your mother and why it is the fundamental key to the happiness of every human being. We have to reprogram your subconscious mind in a very elemental program that influences your entire life. So, to this change in perception, we will call accepting the mother. The greatest difficulty when we have to accept your mother is to understand what this means, and that we must do in a practical manner. How can you do that, and how do you achieve it? The answer really is not in doing as you would normally. Let me give you an example. If you want to have healthy teeth, you know you can brush your teeth, that is something you do, and doing is under your control. The key to accept the mother, more than a doing, is a shift in the way of seeing her and seeing life itself. To reprogram your subconscious mind, all you need is to alter your perception. This simple change in perception is very powerful. It has an enormously positive and practical effect that for most people is immediate, generating great improvements in your life, in your well-being, in your relationships, in your prosperity. Before explaining these 4 keys, there are 2 elements that I want you to consider when listening to them. The first element is that you do it with an open heart and an open mind. You must be willing to consider seeing things in a new way. The second element is that you put aside all the ideas you have about your mother and life. Just for now, disregard everything you know about how everything should have been, like how your story should have happened. I'm asking you to put aside all that history and all your complaints regarding your life and your mother's. The idea is not to deny what it was, but to allow yourself to be open to accept new information. My purpose is not that you change your thoughts, but that you may introduce new ones that are added to the current ones, so that you can have a greater perspective and have a successful life. Let's begin then, with these 4 keys. The first. Your success is your mother. To fully understand this concept, we must go to the origin of life itself. The life that has existed here before your birth and before the thousands of generations of ancestors that came before you. When you are very focused on your own life and your problems, you can feel your difficulties very strongly. Pain is a part of the human experience, and suffering often accompanies this pain. The search for success and fullness in life are often exceeded by failure and shortage and the pain that comes with them. But in the broader context, life itself is the success. To succeed is to survive and to pass the life to the next generation. This is the only thing that has allowed you to be here today participating in this video. In that sense, your mother is already successful because she managed to pass life, and you are literally the success of your mother. In that mindset, we can say without exception that we all are already successful. You are the success of your mother in a biological sense. I really want you to ask yourself, is there something bigger or more important than life? There isn't, right? Think about this. If you knew that you will no longer be alive tomorrow, what would be the most important thing you have today? Your life, of course, or what you have done with it. Everything else disappears, loses relevance. You must understand that your only responsibility in life is to be happy. Just by understanding that, you can really let go of everything that you have pending. All your duties, everything that you were supposed to do disappears before that phrase. What this means is your mother gave you life. You already have 100% of what you need. How is your responsibility what you do with it? And the best thing you can do with it is to be happy. So that it was worth it, everything that happened for you to arrive. My mother passed me the life successfully and I spent a long time complaining, saying that it was not enough. Being angry with the country, with the politicians, the economy, the neighbor, the traffic, my partner, my boss, waiting for the next accomplishment, to buy the dream house, so that I can finally feel successful and happy. When I learn that I am already successful, just because I was born and am alive today. If you simply recognize your mother's success as the most important, as the only one that truly means something, and also you recognize that you embody that success and that you do not have to be or do anything special to be successful. With that already, you are on your way to your happiness. The levels and degrees are categories that only exist in the thinking mind. They really don't exist in life or in nature. You create them and then you give them all the power because you believe them. Do you think that a wolf thinks, this meat is more important than the other, or this day is better than any other? This happens only to humans. And if these levels and degrees that you believe in match with what the majority considers important, then you'll have a definite outline of everything you need or should be done to be successful, and your life will only become the process of trying to get there. Sounds exhausting. Also, it will never be enough. There will always be something bigger or more important that you have not yet done or that you have not yet achieved. There is always something that your neighbor or your partner or your colleague has already done. There is always the next specialization or the next model of car or the next seasonal clothing. When you can recognize that you are success itself. You already are your mother's success and inherently, the success of life itself. You will be able to express that same success in whatever it is that you want to do or to get, without exception. If your feelings and the history with your mother prevent you from accepting this, I ask you that for now, you only focus on the biological aspect that I just explained. Try to imagine how life continued advancing successfully from generation to generation, over and over again, until your life. And your mother allowed that to be the case when she said yes to your life in her womb. If you can acknowledge and thank this simple fact, and you can recognize that just by being alive you are a success of evolution and the life that came to you from your mother, from that perspective, she already is successful, as part of life and as part of the species. If you can learn to recognize this, you will become successful today and forever. I will give you an exercise if you need to work on this, at the end of the video and in the description as well. The second key. Your body is your mother. The existence of the feminine and masculine energies in all creation, and the complementarity of these forces in the processes of creation and manifestation of all that exists. The life that pulses in each cell of your body, and your capacity to connect with them and feel comfortable in your body. Your body is directly related to the link you have with your mother. Your discomfort or dislike with the way you look is related to aspects of your mother with which you are fighting or disagreeing. The more comfortable you feel with your mother, the more you can feel comfortable in your body and even start to look better. Disconnecting from the mother bond opens a space to possibility of disease. When a disease occurs, you find yourself in disconnection with the motherly bond and therefore, in disconnection from life. Accepting your mother is synonymous with health and vitality. To be able to experience that sensation, you need to enter your body to feel the sensations and emotions that are moving there and that are constantly changing. What happens if you sit in a nice place for a while without any distraction, any agenda, that is, as if you have nothing to do, without any purpose, just sit down, and you are there without expecting anything from that moment, without wanting something to happen in particular? Are you able to do that? It can be very challenging to practice not doing nothing, simply being. It can be a great challenge for many, but at the same time a great discovery. Your discomfort with the body is a reflection of your discomfort with other aspects of your life also, because the mother is the life. You keep your mind distracted outside the body to avoid feeling everything that bothers you. When you start to be more comfortable and less in conflict with your mother, it becomes easier to be in your body and with yourself. Then you can give the true relevance to your decisions based on what you feel here and now, and what is comfortable. For you can trust in the wisdom of what the body communicates to you. That it is nothing more than the wisdom of life itself, that came to you through your mother, through the process of gestation. Now you can understand the importance of your mother's presence in your life and how she provided you with a body to live this experience. She literally lent her body so that you could arrive. This truth is not only for you but for all the superior beings that have inhabited this planet. By making this simple acknowledgement, your perception changes completely, so your mind has to adjust and is reprogrammed to a degree that even something in your body changes. If some thought gets in your mind while you do this, return to your body and the life that flows through it, and that has flowed for thousands of generations of ancestors for thousands of years until your life and existence. This happens in your body, and in your mother's body you came to life. This fact is not only transcendental but as physical as every cell that shapes you. To anchor this idea, I will give you an exercise at the end of the video and in the description as well. The third key. The money is your mother. The relationship you have with money reflects the relationship you have with your mother. You can observe your inner dialogues about money, and extrapolate them to relationship dialogues with your mother. For example, when you say, "I don't have money," you're saying, "I don't have a mother." When you say money is not enough, you are saying, "My mother is not enough." Money is a tangible physical representation of abundance and prosperity. It is the mean through which you can access everything that meets your needs and desires at all levels. That's what you really mean when you say that money is bliss and abundance. The mother is the perfect representation of a state of abundance, and your disconnection from her leads you to experience lack. To understand the relationship between money and your mother, you must go beyond the history of what she did or didn't do, or if she gave you enough or not, no matter if you agreed with her or not. I want you to connect with your physical body and visualize how, since you were just a little cell in your mother's body that had just been fertilized by the sperm, you started taking from your mother. You took nutrients, oxygen, water, heat, protection, and from that moment, you had access to everything you needed to live for 9 months or so. You took every second, and there was always more than enough to meet your needs. So gestation evolved life itself. In its wisdom, it has created a mechanism through which you can access everything that is constantly needed, in quantity and proportion, and at the precise moment you need it. You lived for months inside your mother's belly, thanks to that you are alive, and when there isn't enough of what the fetus needs in the mother's belly, the fetus does not develop and successfully reaches outside. Then you are outside and you learn to feel hungry, cold, thirst, you were in permanent contact with sources of risk, you experienced insecurity and necessity, opposite to what was always present even before you needed it, in your mother's body. Depending on the experiences you lived and the memories you have created a whole system of beliefs related to how much is or should have been enough, and project it towards others, towards your life, and mainly towards dad and mom. When you doubt the belief system and question the truths that you believe vehemently and think in terms of life itself and the important things, the truth is that it was enough. The universe has been created under those parameters. That is, if it is enough in the womb, then it is enough outside of it too. Recognize what your mother gave you and that it was enough, not good or bad, but adequate. It is the most important thing to start feeling full and satisfied. If you are in child mode, you are still expecting something from your mother to come and therefore from life. If you are in adult mode, you are aware that life has already given you everything, and that it is up to you to decide what you do with it. Begin by recognizing the fact that what mom gave you was enough. You need to start experiencing that what you have in life is more than enough, much more than enough. I will give you an exercise if you need to work on this, at the end of the video and in the description as well. The fourth key. Your partner. You find it in your mother. Your mother embraced the masculine in her body, to be able to give life to you, and chose to hold it in her womb. This goes beyond any cultural, social or circumstantial considerations between your parents. The crude and concrete reality is that in spite of everything, she took your father's seed and held it until your birth. If she had rejected it, you would not be here watching this video. This is the way it has always been, and that is how life has been able to continue from generation to generation. This is how human species has survived. Now, the couple's relationship requires much more than just that, and there are a great number of factors involved. The first that you need to do is recognize your mother's act of opening and taking your father, and how you feel about that decision. I don't matter if you are a woman or a man, the shift in mentality is the same. When you do not understand your mother's decision and you turn against this idea, that gets reflected in your relationships immediately. For example, when you are in disagree with your parents' relationship, past or present, when you think that your mother chose badly, or that one of them acts incorrectly towards the other, or when you pick one side, or you think you are better than them. In any of these cases, you are denying the shift. The decision that brought you to life, and therefore you are denying yourself. Because in the end, it was your mother's decision. She could have decided not having that baby, but she chose to have you. That is enough. That is a crucial shift. Everything else in your life becomes a consequence of this. When you think about a relationship, you should consider your mother and the shift she made towards your father, and if you are willing to emulate this movement in total openness to your partner, as is, complete without conditions or exceptions. Because in order for life to happen, the feminine must accept the masculine completely. If something is missing, there is no life. It is not possible. Any partial shift will not have any real effect, and when there is no real shift, all things related to this concern simply doesn't appear to change at all. When you see your partner or the possibility of having one, think of accepting completely, as is, without exceptions, without rules. That is the shift that leads to a better life in a couple. I will give you an exercise for this, at the end of the video and in the description as well. Well, after these 4 keys we have shared today and all the ideas that we have given you, maybe you learned something you were faced with or feel connected to. All those ideas that you had of scarcity. All the weights and loads you've ever had to carry about anything you would have preferred to have done or have stopped doing. Now, as promised, here are the 4 practical exercises you have to do to anchor these keys and reprogram your subconscious mind for great success in these 4 areas of your life. Exercise number 1. Your success is your mother. The first one is a prioritization exercise. Write a list of the most important things that have happened to you in life. Those that you consider being most relevant. At least 10 events that you consider to be the most important and the most significant. When you have the list ready, organize those events in order of importance, from the most important to the least important of all. When you have that order, above the first one you have chosen, write. The most important event of my life is that my mother had a successful pregnancy, that did not abort me, that held me in her womb and allowed me to be born. Then, compare that fact with any of the other events on your list, and recognize how that event is the greatest success of your life. And that without this single event, all others simply would have not existed. It is also unique because it is your success. But you didn't have to really do anything to receive it. Simply your mom achieved it for you and you are the embodiment of this successful event. You can also use this thought when you are going through a challenging time, or when you don't feel very optimistic. Remember that you are your mother's and life's success, just by being alive, and be thankful for this fact. Exercise number 2. Your body is your mother. The second exercise is done when you go to sleep. When you close your eyes, start scanning through your entire body with your attention. Feeling it, starting at the tip of your toes, and rising all the way up to your head. Try to recognize everything that is there, what's alive in you, and what do you feel in each part. There is a multitude of sensations permanently in our body, but we do not always pay attention to each part. Recognize each sensation and keep on moving until you reach the head. Then, when you become aware of your whole body, remain there, lying on the bed, and begin to imagine that you are getting younger and younger. Up until you are a baby, and imagine that you are inside your mom's belly. You are a complete body inside another body. Then imagine how this little body is formed from just a few cells, which in turn originated from your mother's ovum, fertilized by your father's sperm. There inside the body of your mother, imagine this egg just before being fertilized. When it was just a single cell. Just one more cell in your mother's body, recognize how your mother's body and yours were one at one moment. And in this awareness allow yourself to fall asleep, and if you feel it, maybe you can allow you to feel gratitude for your body and its origin. Exercise number 3. The money is your mother. For the third exercise, I propose that you write down all the qualities that you think money possesses. Be honest, and recognize everything you say to yourself in this regard, and write it down, as it comes from you, maybe in your worst moments. It could be that there is not enough money. Maybe that life is scarce. Could be that money is for the rich, or whatever it is. When you are done with your list, change then the word money for mother. Then read carefully all these phrases, and recognize the relationship that they have with your life story, and the dialogues you have about it. Sometimes the wording will not come out perfect, or sometimes you can't understand what a phrase means. In these particular cases, you must pay attention. Because when you feel that you don't understand, or can't see, it is evident that there is something right there for you to discover. You will see how your money dialogues are really dialogues with your mother, and you need to begin to understand it. Exercise number 4. Your partner you find in your mother. For this exercise, I suggest you write a list of all the mistakes that you don't tolerate in your couple. Then write a list of all the values that you think your couple should have. It is a kind of a requirement list of do's and don'ts. Then compare the list of everything you think your couple should have with your current or past couples. Recognize how you couldn't take each one of those people as they were or as they are because you have, somehow, been waiting for them to adjust to your parameters, expectations or desires. Now, with that person in mind, when you have done this, with your eyes closed, imagine that person in front of you and imagine accepting it as is. Not so that becomes your partner, just imagine that person, and check and if you can take it to your heart, as it is, even if you don't like or agree with them, or if you think it should have been different or otherwise. Accepting another person as they are, does not mean that you are going to be in a relationship with them, or that you are going to reconcile. It's not done at the level of the external relationship, but at the level of your internal relationship with them. It is a way to stop fighting with how that person or persons are, and start accepting them completely as they are. You just need to recognize your unwillingness to do this in your relationships. It's enough by just being aware of this, and maybe even try to do this exercise with your mother. Thank you for watching. And hope you liked this information. I sincerely hope this information can help you in achieving control of your life and in the fulfillment of anything you desire. If you would like to learn a little more about yourself, I recommend that you take the quiz in the link below. I would like to encourage you to start taking action right now because the mind never rests. Please leave me a comment if you like this video, and remember to subscribe to this channel for more knowledge and practical exercises to help you get your dream life. See you next time, dear mind.